we've got a whole new hiring dynamic. And so everybody's kind of like working into a different world right now, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And now in the hiring world, it's not just enough to be successful in your industry. You have to be successful in your industry. You've got to, tilt towards the right political bent. You have to, be on this committee, support this person. So much is now, and to me, I've always said this, to me, sales is the purest form of business, of everything.
Right.
Because it doesn't care any of those things. It doesn't care your orientation, it doesn't care your race, it doesn't care your gender, it doesn't care anything. It is the purest form because it is the stage by which none of that makes any difference. You are judged by that which you produce, and it's not a situation where I tried or first runner-up or anything like that. So to me, sales has that ultimate purity because it really, like athletics, for example, it's much the same way. Its outcome, dictates your success.
Well, the fact that, last week's presentation that you talked about, your first half of psychology, it applies to so much in life. Not just sales, which is what we focus on, obviously, because this is who we are and what we are. But it is just so interesting that you can just apply all of those concepts from last week, and now we're going to address it this week. That it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. It's interesting. I wanted to start this segue because I had somebody ask me something last week, and I had promised them that it would find its way into this and be immortalized in the digital world. And they had said, what was the one thing? It wasn't even a salesperson, by the way. They said, what is the one thing that if you would tell salespeople or anyone is the number one key to success? And it's interesting because it has morphed as I have gotten older. And it was interesting that what I now at 60 believe that the number one thing for success is feel bad if you do bad. And I guess to preface this, not to take time away unnecessarily, but feel bad to do when you do bad is something, and again, now it took me 60 years to get here, but most people don't feel bad. I mean, legitimately feel bad when they do bad. So if they're, if they know they're not a good parent, or they know they could be a better parent, or they could be a better spouse, or a better neighbor, it's like, you could be a better kid.
It's the oh well reaction.
Well, it's like, yeah, I know that I could probably be a better parent, but I don't want to get up a half hour earlier. I know I could be a better employer, if I really cared about or I could be a better neighbor, or I could be a better sibling, or I could be something. And I believe that there was a period of time when people felt bad when they did bad. So when they realized that they, weren't a good neighbor, or, they didn't bring in their neighbor's trash cans after them being out 3 days. And they're like, well, they're not my trash cans. They didn't ask me. What the hell do I care, right? No. That was the one thing that I realized, again, it took me 60 years to get there, was I believe that if you feel bad when you do bad, you'll take the necessary steps to be better. And you feel bad about that, I think you're going to do something about it. I think that if you realize I'm not as dedicated to my company as I should be, right? I know that I could do better. I know that I could sell more. Even though I benefit personally, I know that I can do more. If I feel bad, I think I'm going to take the necessary steps to do it. And that's what I'm not seeing in the world. Nobody cares if they're not doing as well as they could, if they're not being as, politically sensitive or personally sensitive, or, recognizing someone else's, problems. But now I realize that I need to feel bad when I know that I can do better.
Exactly. And what that does is when you don't come to grips with that, that's a source of fatigue. That's a source of stress.
Right. Well,
and so what people don't realize is you can use stress as a motivator.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a couple of types of stress. There's negative stress,
Yep.
which is basically destructive to your own deal, and there's been
Yeah.
lots of books written about that.
Absolutely.
There's also productive stress,
Yes.
where you use stress as a motivator.
Yep.
You use stress as somebody that can, as something that can, that you can, to your point, you can just acknowledge it and then do better.